Well, I'm surprised with the amount of people that are confused about something that I guess it's just nowadays, a lot of the people that are coming into the Chrysler world are just, they think it's similar to other car manufacturers. For instance, I'm talking about transmission stuff here. On a Chevrolet, you can unbolt a 283 out of an old Malibu or something and bolt in a 454. It'll just bolt right up. It certainly will. And I don't know about the six-cylinder cars, the 256 cylinder like in a Nova. I don't know if that, I don't want to lie to you about that one. But on the V8, I do know that you can put the engine mounts and everything, actually, the way they did them. Very easy to, that's one thing made Chevrolet so popular. It's real easy to do engine swaps. There's almost just nothing to it. Well, you don't get that on Chryslers. I'm sorry. And even Ford, I think, is easier than on the Chrysler stuff. I'm gonna not fool with that too much, but you can unbolt bell housings on Fords. You can't do that on a Chrysler. I do know that. But let me explain to you here. So there's been people that have been asking about unbolting a slant six, putting in a 360 or even a 318, any of those LAs, and just they want to know why they can't just take out a slant six and bolt in a V8. You can't without changing the transmission. The way it works, whatever family your engine is, you have to match that. You're married to the type of transmission that they go together. There's no getting around that. You're married to that transmission. What I mean is, if you're doing an LA small block Chrysler, you can go to a 904, but it has to be for a V8. You can go to the 727, of course, but then it has to be the small block 727. They never made a 727 for the six-cylinder. If they did, I don't know about it. Maybe in a pickup truck, but I think they did do that. But then it'll have a short tail shaft, and it'll be, yeah, they probably did do that. But just for talking about cars, you don't see 727s typically behind six cylinders. You just don't see that. It's always a 904, at least for what I've seen. So I'm going to show you the difference. I'm going to show you the difference because people are going to swap meets and coming back with stuff that they didn't know what they didn't realize. Yeah, I got the wheels off this old truck here of mine. Had a brake spring come apart. So here we go. Real quick. 904 on your left. Six cylinder. Notice the starter position way up high there about 1 o'clock. All right, here's the 727. Notice the starter position there down low about 5 o'clock. That's where a big difference is right there. Now, they made a 904 that's, like I said, V8. I don't have one here, but it's going to have this very bell housing. It's going to look just like that for the V8 in a 904. But if you got one for a six-cylinder, now it's going to be that. A huge, huge difference. Bolt pattern's all different. The way the whole physical shape of it is totally different than that one. And it just won't bolt up, obviously. The good thing about this, if you get one for the six-cylinder, if you look where that starter goes up there, it sets up on top there near the top of the motor. I mean, it's so easy to change. That's a good thing about those. And but the 727 or the 904 V8 model is going to be down low. It's going to be right there is where the starter goes on these. So now you got to get under the car. But on this one, you don't even have to get under the car. You can just do it. You can change the starter just by raising the hood. You don't even have to get down there underneath the motor. So, and as far as the case goes, completely solid. That is just a little rib. There's a shadow there. It does not come apart. You can see this one here too. Does not come apart. Long tail shaft. That means it was in a car. And this transmission has been sitting for a good while. 727 small block. And I just haven't done anything with it. But I know I can just put it right in a car and it'll work. And if they sit for a good while, from my knowledge of them, is the seals stay good in them, even if they sit. You can just, I believe I can take this transmission and stick it right in the car, and it'll go down the road and shift all the gears and everything just fine. It was rebuilt in 1987. Yeah, 1987. Somebody went through this thing. It's some sort of a government transmission, but it's been freshened up and never gone anywhere. It had that piece of plywood bolted to the front of it there, kept everything clean. Anyway, back to our story. So I got this transmission from a young guy, this 904 I'm talking about, who didn't know what it was. He said he had a 727, and he was leading me to believe that it was from a V8 car. Well, his pictures online weren't very good. I could only see the back of it. He didn't really show much about it. And if I had seen this starter arrangement up here, I would have known right away. But I ended up going over there. It was just a few miles away. And I told him, I said, man, you've got a 904 here, one thing. And the other thing is it's for a 6-cylinder, and which is not what I wanted. And he did not know that. He's like, oh, well, I didn't know. He was a young guy in his 20s. He just had no idea. But he was fooling with him. He started getting into these things, and I explained to him the differences. And, I offered him $25, and he took it. He said, that's fine. And so I took it home, got it all apart. It looks pretty good. I'll clean it up and put it back together, and I'll sell it to somebody. I mean, they're still sought after. People do fool with them slant sixes, and it's a good transmission. I didn't see any damage in it at all, and it'll be fine. So, but that's the deal on them things. Let me show you one other thing. All right, you see how I do that right there? I play guitar, so I can do that. No, no, it's a bit of a stretch, but this is the position of the bolts, bell housing bolts on a small block. If it was a big block, it'd be more like that. It'd be about an inch. This one might even be a little closer. I'm not saying this one is in the same spot. It's just generally 7 inches across here on the big block, 8 on the small block. And I do have a tape measure. I can show you that. There it is, 8 inches on the small block. That's what this is. But if it was a big block, you'd be looking at 7. About 7. So 7. So you get to where you can identify these things from a mile away. I mean, I can see right now that's a small block 727, and it's a V8, and I can also see that's a 6-cylinder 904. I mean, I can stand back from them at a swap meet when they're all lined up and there's 20 of them laying there, and I can pick out the one I want easily. And a lot of you guys can. And it just gets to be where you go up to Carlisle, Pennsylvania, which I've been up there bunches of times, and you get to where you can spot them things a mile away. You can say, I see a 904 right there, 904 V8, 727, I'll take it. Big block, small block, 6-cylinder, whatever it is, you know right what you're looking at. Those differences, you don't even need a tape measure. You can just look at that. You can see what it is. I can anyway, and I'm sure a lot of you guys can too. So, but there's a lot of people don't know. They just don't know. They think it's like a Chevrolet. It's not. It's not like that. You don't get that with Chrysler. Chrysler's good stuff. But they didn't think of all the conveniences that other car companies did think of. They thought of what they thought of. GM thought of what they thought of. They thought they'd be a little more easy friendly on that. Chevrolet did. Well, I fool with Chryslers mostly. Anyway, please subscribe to me. I'll keep these things coming. I try to come up with things people maybe haven't thought about or haven't thought about in a while. I hope this helps somebody. The guy that I bought that 904, he sure knew nothing about this. And he knows now. I told him. I explained it to him. I'm sure this probably one day will help somebody like him, this video. I hope it does. That's why I do them. All right. Thank you so much. And we'll talk to you soon. I got more stuff coming. All right. Have a good evening.